Hello, everybody. This is Chris Jerome with the Radical Independent, and I'm here with Al Bell of the Arizona Independent Voters Network. So, Al, thanks for being here. Good to talk to you. Maybe just start off talking a little bit about the Arizona Independent Voters Network.
Well, we're a 501c4 nonprofit established about 3 years ago. And that really came about as a result of my longtime involvement with independentvoting.org, headquartered in New York City. President Jackie Salat, do you know Jackie?
Yeah.
Okay. And Kathy Stewart, Gwen Mandel, and there was another individual who was busy working during that period. I was not. I was retired. I retired in 2007. Kathy ended up introducing us to each other and to an independent voting activist from South Dakota. Richard and I decided to continue our dialogue about the independent voting environment here in Arizona. Because of the activities of independentvoting.org, I got involved in a couple of the campaigns here in Arizona to expand voting rights for independent voters. Both of them, both of those endeavors failed. But as a consequence of that experience and more conversations with Richard, we decided to form a nonprofit organization ourselves to see what could happen. Well, our idea never really took off. Part of the reason is because our lives, his life and my life, for different reasons, are pretty full. We only have a very limited amount of time. We're pretty limited in our ability to focus energy.
Right.
And a few months ago, we decided, you know what, we're going to need to adapt what we attempt to what we can devote to it. And so we are now in the process of pursuing an operation we call Converge. And the idea is simple to describe, not so simple to accomplish. There are a huge number of nonprofit organizations aimed at civic issues and voting rights. There are also a huge number of Substack authors who have a similar kind of focus. And the idea of Converge is while all of those individuals and organizations are doing their thing and striving to be a force for improving our democratic republic, we are going to seek to partner with them in getting a message to their supporters and followers who live in Congressional District 1 here in Arizona. It's one of the most contentious elections in the country. A lot of money, a lot of promotion is going on in that area, and it, in all likelihood, it's going to be a very close race. The registration balance in CD1 is roughly one third Republican, one third Democrat, one third independent, almost identical to the state
Yeah.
ratios, right? But also similar to the state, the Republicans have a bit of an edge, not much, but a bit of an edge in CD1. Our premise is that if we can use the access to voters who are associated with these different organizations and Substack followers to show up and cast a ballot in the election this November in CD1, they could determine the outcome. Um, Schweikert, who was the reigning House of Representative member there, as you
He
know,
dropped out.
left to run for the governorship.
Yeah.
And his elections, even without any particular effort on anyone else's part, were very close. So, how many votes would it take to decide that election? Well, in 2024, the statewide race for Attorney General was won by 208 votes.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, 280 votes, right? Well, so it could be a few hundred, could be a few thousand in CD1. And we have somewhere around 100 entities on our potential partnership list to send our invitation to. And it's not inconceivable if they respond, if enough of them respond, it's not inconceivable that we could reach a number of registered independents to show up, cast a ballot, and make a difference.
Right.
So it doesn't interfere with anybody's ongoing work. In fact, in some ways, it may even augment it as a follow up to if we're successful. I don't know, we don't know of any similar kind of endeavor that's been attempted. But if we do it, and it does work, it's a pattern that could be replicated in other states, in other races. And we know that whatever the outcome is for the 2026 midterms, the 2028 elections are going to be a wild affair indeed.
Right.
So we sort of look upon it as certainly as an experiment with the possibility that it may offer one more tool for independent voters to exercise their rights and make a difference.
And you say this
So
is called Converge?
converge, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Multiple energies converging on a single point.
Right. That's actually pretty fascinating and sounds like a great idea where you're taking a lot of the existing groups and infrastructure that's kind of exists and pointing everyone's attention on a particular election, in this case, District 1, Arizona, and try to, and it's kind of a get out the vote
It
campaign,
is,
essentially,
sure,
but
sure.
also education, information, and maybe even getting a few other non-independents um,
Well, that's
on
right.
board. Because there is a
That's
lot of dissatisfaction with the major parties, and you could probably pull some moderates and stuff like that.
that's entirely possible. Some swing voters from the Republican side are not at all out of the question. The thing, of course, about the November election is in that one, the independent voters are not at a disadvantage. They have equal status with everybody else in
Right.
casting their
Unlike the
vote.
primaries, right.
Unlike the primaries, we worked for a while in trying to mount a program to influence the primaries. But and we did contact all of the candidates. The response was horrible. They weren't interested,
Predictable.
and it's such a complex and for independence limited experience that we finally decided, you know what? Maybe we're better off focusing on the general election. We'll have very, very clear choices, no matter who the candidates end up being.
We got to
Well,
do something
I,
now.
I think we're on the same page, and that's why eventually our little organization decided what we need to do, what we need to attempt, is to influence the existing system where we can to make a difference now. In effect, it's seeking to bring new voices into the system who have a different way of operating. And really, the point of our endeavor is to need to rebuild that capability, that capacity in Congress. So it is a way of taking the steps we can take, taking the action we can take, even while we seek to influence the larger system so that it works more effectively for us.
Right.
And you don't have to wait for one to do the other. They can be done concurrently. That's really the essence of it.
Right. And I kind of get into that a little bit because I have a saying that I borrowed from, it's a famous quote from the guy, I can't remember his name, but a bad system will beat a good person every time. Well, I do think a bad system will be a good person 9 out of 10 times. And that's kind of what we have today,
Yeah,
where there are some good people here and there, but the system is structured in a way where they,
it's hard.
yeah, it's a very corrupt
Yeah,
type of
right,
environment
right, right.
and so I talk about it. We need that systemic structural changes, the election reforms and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But you also need sort of that social cultural aspect and hearts and minds and changing depolarization and changing how we think about politics and thinking and reasoning better and all and civil discourse and all these other sort of social culture. The
right,
two go hand in hand. It's kind of hard to do one without the other. So you got to have
right.
two, both of them going on there to really, I think, get the change that we need.
You're right. I agree with you entirely. And then one of the things that has occurred to us is among and between the team that I'm part of, we subscribe to, I'm going to guess, probably 40 or 50 Substack authors. There is some incredible talent and in thinking out there. The problem is they each have their own audience, and the decision-making structure is accomplished via elections. And you're absolutely right. The election system is so badly broken and distorted now. It has to be fixed. There is some experimentation going on. Some states, as you well know, are trying the ranked choice voting approach. Uh, and even more states now have passed laws to prohibit it. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, imagine that.
And so the bottom line, however, I think is we have to rub our bellies and pat our heads at the same time, meaning where we have a chance, and right now it's in very close, highly contested elections, we have a chance to begin to change the leadership one tough position at a time. But if we can get those voices in place, that aids and abets the cause, even while we struggle sometimes for years to get the system changed. Look how long it took New Mexico, for example, to get to the election system changes they just enacted.
All right.
It took 3 attempts in California to do that over a period of what I don't remember now, a dozen or 15 years. We've made 3 attempts here in Arizona since the year 2000. All of them failed. There was some improvement even in 2000, which gave us the system we have now. As bad as it is, it's better than what we had before. So, systemic change is tough.
Oh yeah. Yeah, people want to flip a switch and make things better. And I try to, I'm like, look, this is long term. There's no magic bullet. There's no silver
Right.
bullet. There's no. It is gonna be a tough, long-ish struggle, but
Sure.
the time is now. Because just, I mean, that if anything, that should
It
be
is.
an impetus because knowing that it will take a while, we got to get this going now.
That's
It's
right.
funny you mentioned Substack, and I just got on there barely 5 months ago,
Uh-huh.
and it is a gold mine of great stuff.
Yeah.
I have a lot of follows or subscriptions.
Right.
Me following other people.
Right.
I actually don't post anything. I have posted zero on my own little uh, under my name, under the
Yeah.
Radical Independent. It's there. I haven't posted anything
Uh,
because I'm preaching to the choir. There's already a ton of people there that know this, that think like this, and they're on board. So I actually don't post anything on Substack, but as a resource for me, it's great. There's a
yeah.
lot of good stuff there that I kind of borrow a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, Al. Well, it was great having you talking about the Arizona Independent Voters Network and the convergence strategy, which I think is amazing and just hyper concentrating on particular districts and mobilizing people to kind of get out and kind of bit by bit change the outcomes of elections. I think that's a great aspect. We got to get more people involved. We got to spread the word. We got to push for the reforms. But this convergence aspect is actually a great strategy to just win elections. So that's awesome. Thanks for kind of spearheading that and trying to put that together.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, we'll
Great
talk to you
talking with
later.
you.